Hi, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. My name is Josh Albrecht, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, it's Josh Albrecht.
That's right, Josh Albrecht and Josh Albrecht, and we are very, very happy to have on our guest today, Dusty Weis, the president and founder of Podcamp Media, and also the Lead Balloon Podcast. Dusty, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen. And might I add, not that you should consider rebranding the show, but as you were branding the show, did you ever consider Between Two Joshes?
Oh. Ooh, I think it's too close to where we would get some type of cease
some type of letter in the mail.
Yeah, something.
Well, we really liked Joshing Around Milwaukee because we affectionately call it jam.
Yeah, we're jamming.
So we're jamming, which I think is good. And our dream is to one day have our own line of jams at the supermarket.
Like Jammy Jams?
It's kind of like Shark Tank. Like, you know, we're building a brand here. We're going to start putting out products. You're going to see as seen on TV items coming on. There'll be cardboard cutouts of Josh holding jams in your local grocery stores.
I think some Jammy Jam shirts with your faces on it.
Jammies?
Yeah. How
where's
not
this?
Jammies yet? Oh, my gosh.
Every time you're in a traffic jam, you're going to think of
this is the whole
jam.
Thing. This is what I'm talking about. $1 billion
30
idea.
seconds and I actually derail
No,
the
this
show.
is how it needs to go.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
always think about Spaceballs, too, the movie, because they jam the radar in Spaceballs. And
I thought you were going to say Space Jam.
Space
That was
Jam?
a whole or Space Jam.
Oh, my goodness. Remake with Giannis? Oh, come on.
We could do this all day.
Please.
We could do this all day. Unfortunately, for our egos of the Joshes, Dusty, we're here to talk about you and everything that you are doing here in Milwaukee. So, for starters, why don't you kind of give your story of how you got to Milwaukee and doing what you're doing here in the city?
Well, Josh, I'm an old radio guy like you, right? So I grew up in Monroe, Wisconsin. If you do the hand thing, we're down there, right down by the Illinois border.
Big cheese town.
The home of the Fightin' Cheesemakers football team.
There you go.
And so I actually got my first job in radio when I was 17 years old, handing out T-shirts to little kids and balloons at the county fair, and then board hopping for high school sports, Cheesemakers athletics. But worked at WEKZ in Monroe for about 3 years and then went off to study at the UW. Got my first job in radio, my first full-time job in radio at WTDY in Madison. It was a news talker at the time. I was a news reporter and just absolutely loved that job. Did that for a little while, followed the Badgers to the Rose Bowl in 2010, got to see J.J. Watt's last game as a Badger.
There you go.
Nice.
And then I was off to WIOD in Miami, Florida, to do a little bit of news down there.
Not a lot of cheese down there.
Not a lot of cheese.
Yep.
The beer sucked. The weather was terrible. Like, I'm not going to lie, guys. I was kind of excited to escape Miami and get back to
Spoken like a true
Wisconsin.
Wisconsinite.
It was just... You know what drives me crazy about Miami? People don't put their grocery carts away there. They just leave them willy-nilly all over the parking lot like absolute savages.
That's too hot. Is it just too hot to walk them to the cart rack?
Oh, you can't. It's unbearable. You can't do it.
Or you can't push a grocery cart and like a walker at the same time.
Wisconsin, Milwaukee, we're known for our Midwest nice.
Oh,
you got to be polite.
Yeah.
You got to be polite.
Yeah.
So I decided that the radio business was done with me, and came back. And actually, I worked at Milwaukee City Hall for 5 years in a public relations role, working with all 15 members of the Milwaukee City Council and the city clerk's office, helping them tell their story to the public. Before I went off and went corporate, I was working for the Association of Equipment Manufacturers, doing content marketing for them, helping them and their 1,000 members across North America tell their story. And one of the things that we were doing there was a podcast. We set what we thought were really reasonable goals for this heavy equipment podcast. And within about 5 months, we had 10x'd them. And I had my kind of like entrepreneurial light bulb moment where I'm like, oh, people will pay you to make a good podcast. And so I launched Podcamp Media. We are a podcast production agency that helps corporate clients use podcasting to tell their story to whoever their audience is, whether it's customers, whether it's members, whether it's something like that, and have been doing it since 2019 now.
Ooh, you weathered the COVID storm.
Yep.
Made it through, just barely.
There's so many stories like that that started like right before, and then for podcasting, I mean, kind of a situation a few years ago that launched podcasts in a more dynamic way. listeners were kind of trapped in their homes, right?
It didn't feel that way at the start of COVID. I was with clients out in Washington, D.C. on the day that like the COVID shutdown started. I think it was March 13th, 2020. And we were supposed to meet with 2 members of Congress. And we're sitting in this congressional member's office, and the announcement goes out over the PA that says, as of now, this building will be closed due to the public health emergency. And I went, no, because I needed this. This was like my first big break, interviewing 2 members of Congress at the Capitol. This was going to be huge. And one of the staffers looked over at Representative Spanberger, who's now the governor of Virginia, and says, I mean, we don't have to kick these guys out, right? Let's just record the podcast and get it done with. And she's like, yeah, we're cool. So
Nice.
That was the big break, and
Nice.
everything's been smooth sailing since then.
Yeah. So now, I mean, locally here, most of your clients, corporate clients, things like that, are they mainly based in Milwaukee and Wisconsin, or are you all over the country?
Kind of hilariously, actually, as a result of coming up during that COVID period when nobody could get together in person, our clients are in Chicago, Madison, St. Louis, Denver, Saskatoon, Columbus, Ohio, and Washington, D.C., and we finally landed a Milwaukee client, besides Big Brothers Big Sisters of Metro Milwaukee, who is a pro bono client who we've been working with for about 5 years now. Cielo Talent, based in Tosa, is our Milwaukee area client now. So we do have one.
Yeah.
There we
That's
go.
Awesome.
I want to take a deeper dive into what you all do with Podcamp Media, because I think it's very, very interesting and something that businesses really need to start paying attention to. We're going to get into that when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We're having an awesome time with Dusty of Podcamp Media and the Lead Balloon Podcast. Let's talk, Dusty, a little bit, though, about Podcamp Media and what exactly you guys do there for these businesses you work with.
Well, you and I were talking a little bit, Josh, before we got started here about how we've kind of hit peak podcasting, right? Everybody's got a podcast, and what the world does not necessarily need is another podcast. And so our clients, when they come to us, a lot of the time they're like, well, we'd like to have a podcast. We haven't really thought about what we would do with it. And so my challenge to them when we're talking strategy is always, well, what can you do that nobody else is doing in the podcast space right now? And what can you do to take your podcast and make it so it's not 45 minutes about your products and services, because that's called an infomercial and people hate those. Right. And instead, let's find a story to tell, a story that people can really connect with. So essentially, we're storytellers, and we help people sift down and find a story that's worth telling.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, a little behind the curtain, right? But even here with Joshing Around, you know, we were when Josh and I first got together, it was, all right, what's the hook? And I kind of told him, we are the hook. The fact that there are 2 people in media in some way, shape, or form in this city named Josh Albrecht is enough for people to go, what is this now? And then we jump it from there to a way to tell the wonderful stories about Milwaukee. But 100%, I agree. There's been way too many people that have talked to me over the years that have said, oh, let's start a podcast. And I go, all right, what do you want to talk about? And then they talk about whatever they're passionate about for a minute. And then I go, okay, now what? And they go, what do you mean? I'm like, well, that was a minute of your first podcast. Do you want to do a podcast episode, or do you want to do a podcast? And it really just puts in the mind how difficult it is to really, like, you really got to structure it. And so to have a company that can help businesses do that, and not only just make something successful, but that first step of making something that longevity, that will last, that'll be able to be there ongoing, is so important. And so it's a huge benefit what your company can do.
It's, I mean, if you look at what we've done with the Lead Balloon Podcast, which was awarded by Adweek as Marketing Podcast of the Year in 2020.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Nominated for Best Business Podcast twice at the Podcast Academy Awards, and I received a Best Indie Podcast Host nod for that.
There you go.
There are, and I did the market research, there are 10,000 other podcasts out there about marketing. Lead Balloon gets listeners and consistently gets ranked among the best in the business because we do it different than everybody else. It's, at its heart, it's a storytelling podcast. It's people, I wanted to recreate one of my favorite things about working in marketing and PR, which is the happy hour. You get a bunch of people together, you have a couple drinks, you have some fun, and everybody starts telling these crazy stories about the crazy things that happen to them in marketing. And we go out and we seek some of the biggest brands and the biggest personalities from the marketing and public relations space, and we have them tell the most intense story that they've got. So whether it's the former VP of marketing at Coca-Cola, whether it's the people that came up with the Snapple catchphrase made from the best stuff on earth, whether it is the marketing team behind the U.S. Navy Blue Angels Flight Demonstration Squadron, we find people who have great tales to tell from the marketing space, and we give them a venue to do that.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
That's so cool. And so that's the other thing, right? So that's completely separate from Podcamp Media. I mean, you're doing both, but at what point, which came first, the chicken or the egg on this?
Yes.
Okay.
All of the above.
Got it.
My theory was, if I'm going to be pitching podcasting as like a business development tool,
You should have
I
a
better
podcast.
use it
You
to
better be able
develop
to
my
do it,
business.
right? Yeah.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
it's a fun show to listen to, but it's also my primary top of funnel marketing tool.
Yeah.
Because people who are interested in marketing and public relations also happen to be my customers at the end of the day.
Right.
And so 75% of the revenue that my business brings in on an annual basis found us through the Lead Balloon podcast, one way
wow.
or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you essentially created the best testimonial for Podcamp Media through the Lead Balloon podcast.
Look, I know how to make podcasts.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's
If you
one that I
don't
made.
know what I'm talking about, you can look at the podcast I'm already doing. That's very, very cool. So talk to us a little bit about the same way that you talk to your clients. So what's your favorite story that you've had from your time on the Lead Balloon podcast?
This is an easy one. It's not even close. This is actually a top 5 life moment. And I say that as someone who's had 3 kids and gotten married once. So ranked number 5 is the time that the U.S. Navy Blue Angels put me in the back seat of an F-18 fighter jet and absolutely kicked the crap out of me over the Gulf of Mexico. It was the best day of work, period.
Yeah.
Did you pass out?
This close. I came this close to passing out. I had the tunnel vision. All the colors ran out.
Yeah.
Everything was turning gray. And we were doing like 7 Gs. They call it the minimum radius turn, where they just turn that thing sideways and bank it as hard as they can.
Yeah.
And all the blood gets sucked from your brain down into your toes.
Sounds wonderful.
And I'm sitting here fighting for my life,
Yeah.
breathing the way that they teach you to, flexing all the muscles.
Yeah.
And,
This is by the way, this is exactly how I describe recording Joshing Around Milwaukee. How was recording today? Well, I mean, this close to passing out.
Have you ever flown with the Blue Angels?
an
kinda like
adrenaline
that.
show, stunt show.
Yeah.
So I'm fighting for my life in the back of this fighter jet. And Lieutenant Commander Griffin Stangl, who's at the controls of the thing, he's a Madison boy, by the way, grew up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, how you doing back there? Just as cool and as calm and as collected as if he was ordering a cheeseburger at McDonald's.
Sure.
Yeah.
Those guys are absolute bosses.
But what was
man.
your answer?
Yeah, you can't get it out.
And how was
Honestly,
your
the fact that
stomach?
You said
How was
anything
the
probably
stomach?
good.
Did the stomach survive?
The stomach was in rough shape.
Yeah.
It was funny. We were up there for an hour, and he hit me with that maneuver at the 45-minute
man.
mark.
Oh.
And I spent the next 10 minutes just like sweating
Yeah.
and laying back. And he's like, "Hey, I got one more maneuver to show you." And I'm like, "I'm good."
Yeah, totally.
Let's-
I can't even imagine
No.
because, look, to be very honest to you and all of our listeners, I am the biggest baby when it comes to like even amusement park ride. Like I go on a Ferris wheel and I'm like, boy, that was rough.
Yeah.
like
yeah.
to go
Your stomach
in
can't take it.
the Blue Angel. I kudos to you. It's very brave. I would love it. It would be a dream, but I would definitely pass out.
Yeah.
we
you're
took our-
in that virtual, like, hey, if there's a way I can sit at home
Yeah.
and just live that through
Yeah.
the television.
I'll go to the Milwaukee
all
Air
in.
Show. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
That's
from the
enough.
ground.
That gets my heart
I'll
going
watch it from
enough,
Bradford
man.
Beach.
I can watch it from the ground. It'll be great. It'll be perfect. Well, that's awesome. The Lead Balloon podcast and the success that you've had there, and tying it into Podcamp Media, the synergy. I absolutely love it. When we come back, we're going to talk about how some of these businesses can actually find you and take advantage and start working with Podcamp Media. We're going to do that when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We're having a great time with Dusty here from Podcamp Media and the Lead Balloon podcast. So amazing story. If you just missed it, you're going to have to go back and find the Joshing Around podcast. See, that's what we did there, which you can, of course, do through any of Visit Milwaukee's social media. But however, Dusty, if people want to listen to the Lead Balloon podcast, where do you send them first?
Basically anywhere you get podcasts. That's my favorite phrase from podcasting.
Yeah.
Available anywhere you get podcasts.
Yeah.
Apple, wherever. We've also got a YouTube presence. Some of the episodes have video, some don't because I'm still old school like that.
Yeah.
But it's out there. Just search for Lead Balloon.
That's awesome. And then
Trusted in the Google SEO.
that's what it
Google
sounds
knows
like.
where to send you.
Yeah, yeah. That's confidence.
I love
That's
that.
confidence.
Just search Lead.
Yeah, trust me, they'll get you there. All right, and then Podcamp Media. So talk to people about if people if they're either doing a podcast already, but they're not seeing the traction that they want to, or if they're a business and they're like, hey, we've been talking about this, we need to figure out how we're going to legitimately do this. How can people get with Podcamp Media?
They can check out our website, podcampmedia.com. They can also swing by the studio downtown. We're at the corner of Milwaukee and Mason Streets, up on the 6th floor of the Colby Abbott building. And swing on out, check out the studio. We're going to be doing a little studio renovation later this summer. Actually, I'm kind of getting excited about that.
Oh, nice.
But we're available.
So what would be an enhancement that you don't currently have in the podcast studio?
Ooh.
Are you looking for like new comfy chairs and
Well,
Yeah,
we've been working in a partnership with Spectrum Industries, not Spectrum, the internet company, Spectrum Industries. They're based out of Chippewa Falls, and they make office furniture, but they're trying to do a line of specialized podcast furniture. They looked us up
Nice.
and wanted to collaborate. They're like, here's a design. What do you think of it? And I told them everything that needed to be fixed to make it good for podcasters. And so they're shipping us a test run, I guess, if you will, of the new furniture. And then we're going to get some, we're going to fix our set behind us so it doesn't look like we bought it at Menards.
There you go.
Did you buy it at Menards?
No, Lowe's.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so if someone's trying to do something, if they're interested, they're going to podcampmedia.com. How does that work with the process? Is it you just kind of jump in as a client and it's a whole thing? Maybe can they price it out if they go, we just kind of need help with this one thing? Is that the pricing options? Is there where they can just be a client in that way? How does that all work?
Yeah, usually it starts with a meeting and we'll sit down and we'll define what they're looking for from us. And I like to tell people that making a podcast isn't a big job, it's just 40 small jobs. And so we'll work our way through those 40 small jobs and be like, what can your team handle? What do you need us to handle? And then we'll develop a quote for them and get them moving along.
All right. So if you could have any local company,
Harley Davidson.
yeah.
That's been my dream client from day one.
Have you ridden one of those like you've ridden with the Blue Angels?
Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, I used to, back before I had kids, I
Yeah.
like to spend a little bit of time on a motorcycle.
Okay.
And if you're sensing a theme here, it's that I'm a little bit of an adrenaline.
Yeah.
junkie.
Yeah.
Thrill
Couldn't
rides,
tell.
right?
I
Couldn't tell.
don't get to ride
I don't
a
know if you can
bike
sense a team
anymore,
between Josh and I. We're like, let's just go get a sampler platter at
Yeah,
Summerfest
absolutely.
and
Let's
sit
go
here.
get a sample platter and watch Dusty just
We'll watch.
do flips
we'll
in
watch
a motorcycle.
you
Yeah.
on the bike.
Sounds like a perfect
Is a beer
day.
garden involved?
Oh, even better.
Yeah. So
there's
Harley
Dusty over there.
Davidson, any other local brands you would love to like get the story out about some of their marketing?
well,
stories?
there's one that I'm actually talking to right now that is a dream client of mine, but because I'm talking to them,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say it out loud.
Yes,
for
there's
sure.
probably some client
so
privilege.
Good
yeah.
to know that
There's
that's
a
coming
little bit of
along.
that, but-
yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
Nice.
Very, very cool. All right. So the last question I have to ask: you're on Joshing Around. What would you change about us specifically? Maybe the other Josh Albert, or just anything that any advice you may have.
I already told you, between two Joshes.
Yeah, change the
it's
name.
there. It's
just
right
the name.
there.
It's all just about the name.
It is, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad to know that besides that, this is the perfect.
Maybe the
podcast.
furniture now, if he gets the new line in, he might be like,
what I was
hey, we
thinking.
need some new chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could use that.
So here's a thought. You guys talk about beer gardens a lot. Milwaukee is renowned for its beer gardens.
True.
There should probably be some beer garden episodes. Not
for
that
sure.
GKB's studios aren't amazing. They are. But maybe some live tape. I see you're like, oh, it's so much work taping out of the studio.
No, I'm just already
Beer garden
daydreaming about the
episode.
beer garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're entering beer garden season
It's
now.
my
That's-
favorite season.
I think the county parks are already up and running.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
They
happening.
sure
They
are.
don't wait.
They
much
don't wait.
longer.
Yeah.
Once
They
the
should.
ice is thawed
Yeah.
off of the.
Yeah.
They absolutely shouldn't. Well, thank you so much, Dusty, for joining us today, and best of luck with the Lead Balloon podcast and the continuing success of Podcamp Media.
Thanks for having me, gents.
All right, and thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. For more information on Joshing Around, you can go to visitmilwaukee.org. We'll see. All right, everyone, thanks again so much for watching this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. If you're seeing this portion of the show, it's because you're watching it on one of Visit Milwaukee's social media channels, and we truly do appreciate that. We're having a great time with our friend Dusty here from Podcamp Media and the Lead Balloon Podcast. Dusty, again, thanks so much for being here. This is the tough part of the show. This is the part where the other Josh Albrecht asks his big question. Josh, take it away.
That's right. We love to talk about Milwaukee and all the cool things happening in the city. It's our primary job at Visit Milwaukee to talk about that. And we like to call all the cool things fresh city vibes. So the question of the day, what is giving you fresh city vibes right now?
Well, we are entering patio season, beer garden season. We talked about that a little bit before, and so it is my very favorite time of year to be in Milwaukee. Again, having lived in Miami as I did, one thing that I hated about Miami is that nobody there goes outside and enjoys being outside. And here in Wisconsin,
it's because you can't appreciate it if it's
right, it has to be taken away.
Right,
it has to be taken away from you for a little while. And so here in Wisconsin, every day when it's above 50 degrees, we appreciate it. Like the people here go bonkers for it. But my plan this year is I am going to revive a tradition on the Milwaukee River that some friends and I started years ago before we all started having kids. I moved to Milwaukee when I was 28 years old and had less common sense then. And we had an annual tradition that we called the Milwaukee River Aquatic Bar Crawl. And we would start down at Barnacle Buds. Everybody brings canoes, kayaks, everything that you got. You get a big old brunch at Barnacle Buds right when they open up at 11 a.m., couple Bloody Marys. Then you take your canoes and your kayaks and you paddle down the Kinnickinnick into the Milwaukee Harbor. We hit Sail Loft is usually our next stop there, although over by Fire on Water, that new place that they got down there, that's been a stop in the past that we've done. Hit the Sail Loft, play some bags at Sail Loft, then we're sailing again. Unfortunately, Milwaukee Brewing Company is closed down, but normally then you can stop at the Harp. Is a great place to stop.
Perfect stop on the river.
Any other places that you come to throughout the course of the day. And
all the way to Lakefront?
All the way to Lakefront.
Love it.
And so if you've ever seen a bunch of stumbling, river-smelly weirdos dragging their canoes and kayaks out at Lakefront Brewery and then like carrying them over their heads, like dripping water over all the people hanging out by the river at Lakefront, that was us. We're sorry. Come join us next time. It's fun as hell.
It sounds super fun. I also, as you're talking, I'm like, that's a day. That's a day I got to mark on the calendar at least 2 weeks ahead of time. Tell the missus, like, hey, sorry, block out the whole day. Yeah. There's no way that's a 2-hour plan.
Now, the question is, do you since you went upriver, you paddled upriver to Lakefront, do you just then hop back in the canoes and just let the river guide you back down to the harbor?
Just take a little nap.
Yeah, just like slowly.
Again, back to our thing.
That's right.
The thrill, the thrill joy. Yeah, we're here.
Or you get picked up at Lakefront.
No, we're getting picked up at Lakefront.
Yeah, it's over.
At that point, it's getting dark. You're sunburned. A couple people have been into the drink already. We do a pool every year. Everybody chips in $5. And then you get a name, and if the person whose name you have falls into the river at some point, you get the
you should call up Giannis, get on the Kalshi app or whatever he's got now, the betting app thing that he's got.
You just put it on there.
I'll take odds on that.
Yeah. I also feel like there's a way to, hey, I'm going to tip you over, okay? We'll split it.
That's right.
There's some Survivor.
Great, we just
technique.
won $20.
Hey, that pays for the next round.
That's right.
One of my favorite times one of our people went into the drink, we were, it was, I shouldn't name names. It was one of my wife's friends, and she was sitting in the front of the canoe. Her husband was doing all the paddling. And she had her feet just dangling in the water, and one of her flip-flops falls off, and she reaches over to get it. The whole thing goes in.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Me, I'm a former Boy Scout, and so I see this. I'm like, I know how to do an on-water rescue. Everybody do what I tell you to do. Eleni, swim over to the boat. We're going to bring your canoe over ours. We're going to flip it over, drain it out. We're going to get you. And all of a sudden we hear, whoop, whoop. And it's the Milwaukee police boat. And they're pulling up, and they're like, swim over to the boat. And I'm like, back off, guys. I got this.
Yeah, I'm a Boy Scout.
Yeah, don't worry. Everything's under control.
They weren't impressed.
Yeah, they're like,
they were
no,
not
that's
impressed.
usually not how
No.
that
Yeah.
goes.
Hey, not that you guys get that rowdy every time.
Yeah. I guess it can happen.
That was
it can
years
happen.
ago
Yeah.
before people started having kids.
Yeah.
Now we're
Yeah,
lucky
now,
when we.
now more mature.
Uh-huh.
Well, Dusty, thank you so much again for joining us. And as I mentioned before, best of luck with everything happening with Lead Balloon and Podcamp Media. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, and thank you again so much for joining us for this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. As I mentioned before, for more information on Joshing Around, you can go to visitmilwaukee.org. We'll see you next time.
Two Joshes are better than one.